make it gather more strong and getting the zoom and all that kind of stuff. So we're not, you know, uh, we've been around for a while, but we've changed quite a bit. Anyway, we're up and running on YouTube. Welcome, Robert, and turning this mic over to you for Robert's ramblings.
Oh, and they are definitely ramblings. Once I get going, it's amazing. Anyway, would somebody like to just read a quick introduction here? And then I'll play some music.
I can read that.
Thank you, Sharonda.
So, you're welcome. I'm here only to be truly helpful. I'm here to represent him who sent me. I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because he who sent me will direct me. I am content to be wherever he wishes, knowing he goes there with me. I will be healed as I let him teach me to heal.
Thank you. And if you would read this quote from Emily Simpson before I play the music.
Yes. I am what I am, cause I am says I am. If I am says I am, then I am. Okay.
I heard that about 20 years ago, and I've always gotten a kick out of that. Okay, I'm going to play this music real quick.
I am peace, I am light, I am love, I am love, I am peace, I am light, I am love, I am that I am. I am peace, I am light, I am love, I am that I am.
That will actually go on for about 11 minutes, so I decided to cut it short. What I find interesting, I didn't even think about it when I put that quote in here about I am what I am. That was really quite coincidental. Um, Not that there are any coincidences in God, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I just want to let everybody know before we get to any of the essays. Cherie, if you could read this for me, I'd appreciate it. Yeah, just the text. You
Okay.
can.
I hope this season is bringing you moments of calm, clarity, and connection. As a any books from my collection as a holiday gift. If there's a title you've been curious about, or if you know someone who might appreciate a little spiritual nourishment this season, feel free to choose whatever speaks to you. You can browse the full shelf at dinojamesbooks.com. Just send me a note with the title you'd like, and I'll gladly send you a free digital copy. Consider it a simple expression of gratitude for the light you bring to our shared study and practice. Robert at dinojamesbooks.com. Wishing you peace, joy, and a gentle holiday season. Between now and Christmas, every book on our shelf is deeply discounted, from 21% to 65%, depending on the title and medium. Books make great gifts. Order yours early to assure delivery before the holidays. dinojamesbooks.com.
Thank you. And here's our list of essays if anybody would like to pick one, and we'll go from there.
Hey, Bob, I have a question.
Yeah,
So you have a book there titled Why Do We Dream? And
yeah,
are you talking about the dreaming we do as we sleep overnight?
both.
Okay. Because I've been in the Sedona area for 4 years, and I don't know if it's about this point in my development or if it's about Sedona. My friends here say, oh, that's a part of being near Sedona. Because I have dreams all the time. And like last night, waking up during the night, I probably had two for sure, maybe there were three that I was aware of upon awakening. And that's new for me. But I'm not saying it's Sedona. I don't know.
I've heard that about Sedona. I've never been there. I hear it's a beautiful place. I'd love to come visit. But yeah, it's a little of everything.
Thank you.
Does somebody have a title that they'd like to have us read? And by the way, this is only half the list. Uh,
Is anybody else interested in that Why Do We Dream?
sure, I can do that one. Sure, let's bring it back up again. Where are you? Why do we dream? Sheree, if you can spot it, let me know.
Why am I here?
No, why do we dream? Let me go down further.
I don't see it so far.
Oh, that's a book, not an essay.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, sorry, my mistake.
Not a problem.
A lot of my books evolved from essays, but that one began as a book. Sorry. Anybody else want to take a pic?
How about crying and laughing?
Crying and laughing. Well, oh yeah, there we go. Okay, here we go. Crying and laughing. And let me make it big enough to read. And who would like to try reading?
do it.
Okay.
I've been doing a little of both recently, so. All right, crying and laughing. We grow up learning that crying and laughing sit on opposite ends of life's emotional seesaw. One belongs to sadness, the other to joy. One signals loss, the other signals abundance. The world treats them as rivals that rarely meet. If tears show up in public, we brace for tragedy. If laughter breaks out, we assume something good just happened. It's an emotional labeling system that seems obvious, yet it hides a deeper truth that spirit has never agreed with. From the spirit's point of view, crying and laughing rise from the same place. They're both expressions of one point of view. They're both expressions of one thing, pure elation, the overflowing recognition of what is real and what cannot be threatened. Anyone who has ever cried from laughter has already brushed against this truth. For a brief moment, the lines blur. The body doesn't quite know which direction the emotion is taking, only that something within is overflowing. But in our day-to-day life, we still slice these moments apart, assuming one emotion is rooted in pain and the other in pleasure. The world has trained us to see everything in twos, joy versus sorrow, winning versus losing, love versus fear. It teaches us to measure life with either or categories that make us feel safe because they seem clear. Yet the deeper movements of spirit don't fit those tidy containers. The world's understanding of crying is shaped by its fear of loss. We cry at funerals, at disappointments, at the wreckage of plans we cherished. We cry over broken dreams, broken relationships, and broken illusions. When the world sees tears, it assumes something has been taken. It's as if the body itself becomes the courtroom stenographer, recording every moment we thought love vanished. Spirit looks at tears and sees something else entirely. Not loss, but release. Not despair, but a softening. The spirit isn't embarrassed by tears and doesn't rush to fix them. Spirit simply recognizes that something tight is loosening, and what loosens can finally breathe. Laughing gets a different cultural assignment. It's often treated as proof that all is well. A laugh signals success, relief, pleasure, victory, connection. People tend to trust laughter. They post it, share it, seek it, and measure the quality of a moment by how often it appears. Yet even laughter in the world can be deceptive. Sometimes people laugh to hide their fear. Sometimes they laugh because it's the only sound they can make before the truth slips out. Sometimes laughter is a defense against vulnerability, a polite way to avoid crying. The spirit sees both expressions with a gentler eye. When spirit laughs, it's not at a joke or from a fleeting burst of pleasure. Spirit laughs because it recognizes the impossibility of loss. The world dramatizes setbacks, failures, and endings. Spirit sees through the drama and catches the absurdity of believing that anything real could be threatened. It's not mocking our confusion, it's simply awake. There's a kind of cosmic humor that comes from realizing how often we chase illusions, defend them, and suffer over them when they never had substance to begin with. Spirit's laugh isn't at our expense. It's an invitation to relax. Spirit, Spirit also cries, and these tears aren't the world's tears of grief. They're tears of recognition, tears that come when the heart stops resisting the truth, tears that wash away fear the way rain clears dust from the air. These tears aren't saying I've lost something. They're saying something real is finally breaking through. They show up in moments of forgiveness, moments of surrender, moments of clarity, and sometimes in moments that look quiet and ordinary from the outside. Spirit's tears aren't about pain. They're about letting go of the idea that we were ever alone. Crying and laughing from Spirit's perspective are simply two doorways to the same experience. Both arise when something in us breaks open. Both happen when the weight we've been carrying shifts, even for a moment. Both come when the truth nudges past the world's assumptions and taps us on the shoulder. It's the same movement, just expressed in different ways through the body's channels. The world sees opposites. Spirit sees a single current flowing through two rivers. If we look closely, the body itself gives this away. Tears can accompany heartbreak and hilarity. Laughter can spill out during grief, not because we disrespect the moment, but because the heart needs some relief. The physical signs blur, hinting that the inner source is not divided. Spirit has no reason to separate them, because Spirit has no investment in maintaining the world's rules around emotional correctness. To Spirit, a tear and a laugh are both forms of release. Both soften fear. Both open space for love to rise. In moments of deep spiritual insight, people often report crying and laughing at the same time. Something in them dissolves, and the body scrambles to express it. Neither reaction fully captures the sense of coming home, but together they come close. These aren't emotions in the ordinary sense. They're physical echoes of recognition. The awareness that what we thought was lost is actually present, that what we feared is gone, and that what we sought has been holding us all along. This helps explain why spiritual texts often describe awakening not as a grand achievement, but as a quiet remembering. When we remember what's real, the body reacts. Sometimes it trembles, sometimes it smiles, sometimes it weeps. But the cause is the same. The mind is lifting, and the body simply reflects the shift. The world interprets these signs based on its belief in separation. Spirit interprets them based on unity. To live from the world's interpretation is to stay on a seesaw that never rests. One emotion lifts us, the other drops us. One rewards, the other punishes. One signals gain, and the other loss. To live from Spirit is to step off the seesaw entirely. There is movement, yes, but not conflict. There is expression, but not fragmentation. Crying and laughing become simple releases of the same inner overflow, not a battle between opposites. We can begin to practice this shift by noticing when our emotions start to rise. Instead of asking, is this good? or bad. We can ask, what is opening here? Instead of judging the tears or the laughter, we can let them speak for themselves. They may be saying, something in me is loosening, and that loosening is good. Something in me is remembering what matters. Something in me is waking up. The real gift comes when we stop treating crying as a setback and laughing as progress. When both become equal expressions of the heart's movement toward truth, we stop resisting either one. Tears stop feeling like failure. Laughter stops feeling like escape. Both become part of the same conversation between the self we made and the self we share with spirit. At the deepest level, the world's emotional categories fall away, and what remains is one simple fact. The heart overflows when it meets truth. Sometimes it overflows quietly, sometimes loudly, sometimes softly, but it overflows. And that overflow might look like crying or laughing, depending on the moment, or both, if the moment breaks open wide enough. Perhaps the most comforting part of all this is that spirit never judges which form shows up. Spirit has no preference. What matters is the opening self. What matters is the recognition that we are safe, loved, and held in a reality that cannot be threatened by the world's stories of loss or gain. So, crying and laughing are not opposites after all. They're companions, two expressions of one force, the movement of truth through a mind ready to remember. If the world sees separation, spirit sees reunion. And sometimes the only natural response to reunion is to cry, laugh, or both at once.
Thank you.
That, I have to say, brought an immediate remembrance to me. And that was the night that you asked me to marry you. And I truly could not decide whether to laugh or cry and did both.
You want to tell that story while you're there?
Well, it was a number of years ago. Bob and I had met, I guess, back in 2016. And both of us being in our 70s, we agreed that there was no real need in today's world to get married. It was just not really necessary. And besides which, I had just renewed both my passport and my driver's license. And so to change was really a pain, particularly when we were trying to travel. But we were at a very formal dinner
It was a,
event.
yeah, it was a CAP meeting. It was like a 30th anniversary dinner.
And Bob was the maitre d' or whatever,
MC.
MC. It was an M, and yes. And at the end of the evening, he said, "You know, I really love family, and the only family I really have are here in this group tonight. But I'd like you to join me in asking a question." And he said, "Cherie, will you marry me?" And I absolutely did not have any inkling or any expectation. And I truly did not know how to react. And so I cried and laughed both for quite some time. But I did end up marrying Mr. Sears, and I still go by Tucker and Sears.
Thank you. Sharetta, I see you chuckling. Would anybody like to comment on the essay or Cherie's story?
It's a great story. I enjoyed hearing it. Cherie, you do a beautiful job reading as well. I always appreciate hearing you when you do.
Thank you.
Yeah, me too. She reads it better than I write it. So would anybody else like to pick, can you still see the list?
Yes.
The list is still on the screen. Would anybody like to pick another one? We've got plenty of time.
Well, honestly, unless someone, well, I'll just say my eyes caught spiritual ecstasy, the new orgasm, and they keep going back there. So now I'm curious and I would enjoy the laughter that's probably inherent in that. How did that?
I think there is, yeah. Okay, let me start it. You want to read it?
Okay.
I don't think you'll be sorry. Let's make it big enough for you to read here. And, oops, not enough. Hold on. And there we go. Have fun. Can you see it okay? Oh, you're muted. Surrender, you're muted.
Thank you. Yeah, spiritual ecstasy, the new orgasm. For as long as humanity has walked the earth, we have searched for connection with one another, with nature, and ultimately with the divine. In our physical form, that search often manifests as desire. The body longs to merge, to lose itself, to dissolve the boundaries of self and other. In the past, the height of that experience, the orgasm, was seen as the pinnacle of human pleasure, a momentary escape from the prison of individuality. Yet beneath that fleeting intensity lies a deeper yearning, one that the body cannot satisfy. What we truly seek is not another body, but reunion with the source from which all creation came. This essay explores that evolution from physical climax to spiritual ecstasy, from the little death of the body to the timeless awakening of the soul. The body's cry for union. In biological terms, orgasm is the body's most intense surge of pleasure, a flood of endorphins, dopamine, and oxytocin. Oxytocin? Whatever.
Oxytocin.
Thank you. Oxytocin sounds better. Oxytocin that briefly silences thought and dissolves separateness. In that instant, we stop thinking, planning, and worrying. We simply are. It is a glimpse of surrender, not to another person, but to being itself. The irony is that this state, sought through the body, hints at something beyond it. What we chase through physical union is a shadow of the spiritual union we have forgotten. Every craving, every addiction, every desire to merge or escape stems from the same root, the memory of oneness. We long for that moment when there was no separation, when all was love and love was all. As A Course in Miracles reminds us, you are at home in God, dreaming of exile, but perfectly capable of awakening to reality. Text 10. I'm going to skip that. The
Yes.
orgasm, in its most innocent sense, is the body's echo of heaven. But because the body is not eternal, neither is its pleasure. The more we chase it, the more elusive it becomes. The body's promise is always temporary. The spirit's fulfillment is eternal. Mystics and lovers. Mystics and lovers of God. Long before psychology measured endorphins and hormones, mystics described ecstasy in words that would make even modern lovers blush. The Sufi poet Rumi spoke of melting into the beloved. I want to sing like the birds sing, not worrying who hears or what they think, St. Teresa of Avila described in her rapture with sensual language that the church later softened her words to avoid scandal. In Hindu Tantra, sexual energy is seen not as sin, but as sacred, a symbol of the merging of Shiva and Shakti, consciousness and creation. Across all traditions, the language of divine union is the language of love and surrender. The mystic's rapture is not the body's pleasure, but the spirit's release from confinement. The self dissolves, the boundaries blur, and what remains is pure awareness, radiant, unending, whole. It is not a momentary escape, but a permanent remembrance. The Course describes this as the experience of the holy instant, where fear and love are reconciled. The ego's substitution. Modern culture, obsessed with stimulation, has tried to recreate this sacred state with counterfeit means. We are bombarded with images, fantasies, and promises of satisfaction, each one whispering, buy this, watch this, do this, and you will feel alive. Yet every promise fades, and the hunger returns stronger than before. The ego thrives on this cycle, for it keeps us looking outward for what can only be found within. The Course is blunt about this endless pursuit. The ego's motto is seek but do not find in the manual. Pleasure becomes the ego's tool of distraction, keeping the mind preoccupied with form so it never remembers content, the love that is its true nature. The little death of orgasm becomes a parody of the ego's fear of true death, the end of its illusion of individuality. To experience genuine ecstasy would mean the disappearance of the self-concept the ego defends. That is why it fights so hard to keep pleasure confined to the body, safe, controllable, and temporary. The holy instant, the true orgasm of the soul. If the orgasm is the body's moment of release, the holy instant is the mind's. It is the moment when we let go of all judgment, all past and future, and enter the eternal now. The Course describes it this way, paraphrased. In the holy instant, you are free of the past and the future, and you can experience the eternal now. This is the spiritual orgasm, the ecstatic union with the divine that requires no body, no touch, and no partner. It is not stimulated by friction, but by forgiveness. It is not achieved by effort, but by surrender. It is the moment when the mind ceases to defend its separateness and yields to the awareness that there is only God and we are part of that wholeness. Those who have touched this state describe it not as excitement, but as peace so profound that even the word pleasure seems inadequate. The body may tremble or grow still, but the experience is interior, an awakening, not a climax. The holy instant does not replace the need for learning, for the Holy Spirit must not leave you as your teacher until the holy instant has extended far beyond time. Says the Course in text chapter 15. In other words, true ecstasy is the beginning of awakening, not the end of desire. This is so beautiful. I would like to pass this on if someone else is willing to read, please.
Elizabeth or Lynn, either one of you want to read? Sure, okay. Okay, Cherie's going to take over.
Transforming desire. To move from physical to spiritual ecstasy does not mean denying the body or its natural impulses. Rather, it means transforming desire into devotion. Desire, in its highest form, is the call to remember God. When misdirected, it becomes obsession or addiction. When purified, it becomes prayer. Every longing, every attraction, Every hunger can be reinterpreted as the soul's yearning to return home. The Course tells us, what you seek for, you will find. If we seek pleasure, we will find temporary comfort. If we seek peace, we will find God. The energy that fuels both is the same, only the direction differs. When we no longer project our desire outward toward people, possessions, or experiences, it turns inward and upward, awakening a joy that cannot fade. This is why some choose celibacy and others sacred partnership. Both, when guided by love, can lead to the same realization. What matters is not what the body does, but what the mind believes it is doing it for. The body is merely a device for making your experience possible. Its purpose is determined by the mind that uses it as a means to separate or as a channel for love. The continuous state of ecstasy. Imagine living not in peaks and valleys of pleasure and pain, but in a steady hum of joy that underlies all things. This is the new ecstasy, not a momentary thrill, but a continuous awareness of union. Heaven is not a place nor a condition. It is merely an awareness of perfect oneness. This awareness transforms ordinary moments into miracles. A shared smile, a kind word, a quiet prayer, all become portals to the same rapture once sought in the body. The ego may scoff, insisting that bliss must be earned or provoked, but the soul knows otherwise. True pleasure needs no climax. It is self-sustaining, self-renewing, and shared with all creation. The mystic no longer waits for flashes of ecstasy. He or she abides in it. The new orgasm is not the end of desire, but its fulfillment in the recognition that we already possess everything we ever sought. Living the union. To live in this state does not mean escaping the world, but seeing it through new eyes. Every encounter becomes an opportunity for union rather than defense. We do not withhold our love out of fear. We extend it freely, for giving and receiving are one. To have, give all to all. In this awareness, the body becomes not a barrier, but a bridge, a communication device through which spirit expresses itself. When we love without agenda, we experience the same release once confined to the physical act. The difference is that this love never ends. It expands with every act of kindness, forgiveness, or gratitude. The energy once spent in pursuit of pleasure becomes fuel for compassion and creativity. Conclusion. Beyond pleasure, into presence. The old orgasm was the body's temporary escape from isolation. The new orgasm is the mind's awakening to unity. One fades as soon as it begins. The other endures beyond time. One depends on form. The other arises from formless spirit. When the seeker stops chasing the shadow and turns toward the light, desire fulfills its purpose. The body's longing becomes the soul's remembrance. The act of surrender, once sought through another, now happens within. Spiritual ecstasy is not the denial of the senses, but their transformation. It is the remembrance that pleasure is not found in possession, but in presence. It is not the thrill of climax, but the stillness of knowing. I am one with love itself. In that instant, the holy instant, the mind reaches what the body never could: union without separation, joy without opposite, and peace without end. The orgasm ends in exhaustion. Spiritual ecstasy ends in awakening. And once awakened, we realize that the union we sought was never lost. We were never two. We were never divided. We were always one.
Thank you. I forgot I should have rated that X.
You should have what?
I should have given that an X rating.
It was perfect, Bob.
Thank you. Yeah, that was an interesting one to write. And it comes out of our humanity. I mean, we've taken and experienced this for most of our lives, and yet the reality, the meaning of it is so much greater than the experience itself. Anyway, we've got a few more minutes if we'd like to just chat about just about anything. Lynn, you have anything you want to mention?
Yes, just to let everybody know that next week, starting next week, we're going to be an hour earlier. Robert's moving because Rev Wayne is not doing Mondays anymore. So next Monday we're going to be at is it 1 o'clock Eastern? I have to look at the calendar. I think it's 1 o'clock Eastern.
Yes, yes.
Which will be
Yeah,
an
10
hour earlier.
Pacific, yeah.
Yeah. And then also be sure to come in this evening when we're going to have more of Robert's essays with Sharon. So I appreciate everyone participating, coming in and being with us. So thank you so much. Thank you, Robert.
And thank everybody for listening on YouTube. If you like what you're hearing with ACIM Gather, please like and subscribe. We'd love to have you here with us every week. And Lynn, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to share. And I'd like to thank Cherie and Sharanda for being my voice. And I'll see
You're
you
welcome.
all. I'll hope to see some of you later today and everybody again next week. And
So-
I'm done. We get a little early lunch today.
There you go.
So
thank you all.
real quickly, later
Yeah.
today is at 4 p.m. Pacific?
Pacific. We're Pacific.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you,
I can only
Sharonda.
think of Pacific time.
I was expecting this to be 11 o'clock my time today, so something was different than what I was expecting. But anyways, I heard the schedule for next week.
Very good.
Well,
All right.
isn't there a period where Pacific Daylight and Arizona Mountain Time are the same?
That was during daylight saving time. You're correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Arizona and
But her
Hawaii.
time doesn't change, just everyone else's. So
Right.
thank you,
Okay.
Sharonda. It's so good to see you.
Good to see
Thank
you,
you,
Lynn.
Cherie.
Thank you, Bob.
Bye, guys.